As this is being recorded, we are about 24 hours away from the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas. Takes place on January 10th. As this is coming out, it'll be the day of. So tonight, 7:30, Ohio State Buckeyes versus Texas Longhorns. Both teams got here a little differently. Texas in a wackier way, I would say. Ohio State more comfortably. But wow, man, I'm super pumped. There are some nerves going on. Texas is a good team. We're a great team as well. Both two great teams just going at each other. It should be fun, man. I can't wait to watch. But there's always a good sense of excitement and nervousness. For me, there's been many instances of that. Many Ohio State games. The Super Bowl a couple years ago, Game 7 of 2016, I was so nervous. I remember I was pacing around the entire room when that game happened. But this hasn't come to that extent, but still, it's up there, for sure. It's like you want to get these 2 wins under our belt, and right now Notre Dame is playing Penn State, so as it's coming out, we're going to know who we're facing. My guess is going to be Penn State, but, it could go either way. But, as always, I'm excited for Ohio State Buckeyes football, and I'm particularly excited about this one because it's the Longhorns. Familiar quarterback in Quinn Ewers. It should be fun. It should be a fun game, but let's dive into the matchup, man. So we look at us, man. Will Howard has been on fire, especially the last 2 games in the playoffs against Tennessee and then Oregon. In total, he's thrown for 3,490 yards, 32 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith has been an absolute monster. And last week, he was by far the biggest star for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then TreVeyon Henderson, he has 922 yards on the ground. He's been kind of splitting carries with Quinshon Judkins. So, that's kind of expected. You'd be like, man, he should be higher. But, when you split that many carries, it's great. And then JT Tuimoloau, he has 10 sacks. So him and Jack Sawyer, they each had 2 sacks last week. So, nothing but excitement for this number 1 rated defense in the country. All the love and credit in the world for getting here as far as we did because of them. You got to give them a boatload of credit, man, because as I said, we're not here without them. We're not here without our offense exploding like it did last week. That 31-0 lead and holding serve in the first half. And, in the second half, got a little dicey. I don't want to say we were nervous, but it did get a little dicey. But the defense just played their living tails off in that first half. And the offense, they came through. Nice little revenge on the Ducks there. One thing that's funny is the Ducks, they're getting a lot of excuses from the neutral college football fans just because, I think Ohio State, they've caused a lot of pain to other programs, so I don't blame them. But they've been getting a lot of hatred. The Oregon has a more expensive roster, $20 million roster, and we're getting hate for having remotely. We are close, but it's not. They're still above us. So it is kind of funny to see that. They're getting a lot of excuses. Oh, they were rusty. No conference champions. If you win, you don't have that issue. So, it is what it is. That's how the 12-team playoff format works. That's just how it's going to go. So, there's no bringing anybody down for being where they're at. Texas is here for a reason. Penn State was here for a reason, or is here, depending on if they won, and Notre Dame. Same with them. I believe that we can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the college football playoffs, let alone in all of college football. And last week gave me all the confidence in the world. And while, yes, Oregon was rusty, so I don't want to say that both teams had a fair amount of time, we still came out swinging. Jeremiah Smith on the first drive of the game, he had a 45-yard touchdown when we received the ball. Second touchdown, I was like, we got these guys. We got it. It wasn't going to be another October 12th. That was a slow start for the offense, and it just came back to bite us in the butt. But just the way we caught off last game, starting off, we came out swinging. And that was the most important part. But those are things that kind of stand out to me. We look really good, and it's up to us to just continue. And, a lot of people are saying that OSU is getting kind of arrogant, cocky, and whatnot. It's up to the players to have the unfinished business mindset in the sense, I think Ryan Day, in particular, he understands, a lot of fans are saying the only way to combat Ryan Day getting fired is you win the championship. And even then, some people are still calling for his job. I want to give him so much credit. If you watch that Rose Bowl pregame speech, he was on fire. He was motivating that team like crazy. So the players seem to love it, but I want to see more out of these next 2 games, man. It doesn't mean anything unless we finish the job. So, yeah, it's important for us to get a big win here against a very good Texas team. But let's dive into them, speaking of them. Their offense, fifth top 5 offense in the league. Their defense is 6th in the league. They average only 14.5 points per game given up. Very dicey against, last week. It was a little weird because, kicker, the coach gave him a pep talk against Arizona State, and then, he still missed. And it was like a 33-yarder. Came up short, but, they have something going for them. I mean, Quinn Ewers, he's been monstrous this year. 3,189 yards, 29 touchdowns. TreVeyon Henderson, he's had 5 touchdowns on the ground, over 1,000-yard rusher. And he hasn't had to split as much as Henderson has, but still very good running back. And then Colin Simmons, he has 9 sacks on the year. Just one behind JT. So he's not that far behind. And Texas is still, they are a worthy opponent. I mean, I know Buckeye fans, they feel confident coming into this game. But, I would not sleep on Texas because they're going to come out swinging. And they're going to be a lot more fresher than Oregon was, obviously coming off a lot less rest. And, I can expect them to just be ready to go. And especially, in this environment, y'all, in Dallas, it is a tough place to play because Texas is going to travel well. I mean, Austin to Dallas is only a couple hours, I believe. So I can expect the Texas fans to show out, but I can expect Buckeye Nation to hopefully do the same thing and combat that. I mean, Buckeye fans, they travel very well. Texas fans, they also travel very well. So, I don't expect it to be, as dominant as it was last week in the Rose Bowl. I mean, Ohio State completely dominated that crowd. I mean, you had a few Oregon fans, you had a lot of Oregon fans in one section, but if you look at that stadium, man, half of that stadium was red. It looked like half of it was green, but a lot of red was covering it up. You barely saw any green in the red section. So that shows you Buckeye Nation, they travel well, and I think that they're hopefully more motivated to travel some more, seeing that this is in the home state of the Texas Longhorns. So I expect both teams to come out swinging. I expect both fan bases to show out. But here's our keys to victory, in my opinion. Got to contain Quinn Ewers. Got to have the run game dominance. Got to feed the carries between TreVeyon and Judkins. Got to utilize Jeremiah Smith, stretch the field, go after their secondary, and make sure we convert some to points. We had a little bit of trouble with that in the second half last week, and even the Tennessee game, I would say a little bit, but how much we were beating them by was monstrous. So that's why I say it's important to start off fresh, start off hot, and then anything that Texas throws into the game, you're ready to adjust to it. So convert everything that you can into touchdowns and get off to that great start that you did last week, that you did the time before, and I think we'll be good to go for this game. It's all about that first punch, what I've kind of learned with these games. I mean, you got to take that first punch. Anything that, a team throws later in the game, if they land another punch, then, you can adjust to it and ultimately land the last. And that's important against a team like Texas. Protect the ball, force errors, and just start hot. Start ready to go from the opening kick. I don't know if this game's going to be delayed or not because I know there's some thunderstorms going on in Dallas. So I'm not sure exactly what's the situation there. But regardless, man, right from the opening kick, got to start hot. And that's going to be key. But anyway, as I said, I hope OSU fans, they make the trip. May feel like a road game. Hope the team doesn't get too comfortable where they're at. I'm not saying they are. And hopefully the players, they're humble. I feel like that Michigan game was like I said, I've seen so many analysts say the Michigan game was the best thing to happen to the Buckeyes. So I hope the team is not too fat and happy, not too comfortable where they're at, because they got a long way to go. And these 2 victories, yes, that may not sound like a long way to go, but they're going to be 2 battle-tested games, man. And it's going to show that we're worthy of being national champions. And I think we can beat this team, and I hope we do, and I think we will. I believe that we will go against Texas. We may not get up to as hard of a start as we did last week, but I believe we'll come out swinging. Texas will try to adjust, but I believe that we'll pull through and win this game. Won't be as easy as last week, I can tell you that right now. Texas is a good team, but we can beat these guys. If we do our best versus their best, I like our chances. But these are going to be 2 great teams going at it. Any Longhorn fans that are watching, good luck to you guys. But I hope we kick your ass. But I also hope, Buckeye fans, you make the trip to Dallas. Should be a fun game, man. I'm excited for it. I'll be in Columbus watching it, repping the boys. And 2 more wins, man. Beat Texas. Let's go, Bucks. OHIO. See you guys for the post game on Saturday. Go Bucks.